And today's platform is Avaza. Now, Avaza is a professional service automation tool, or PSA, and it just helps you do things like projects and invoicing. So I'm going to sign up for a trial. I'm going to have a look around, and I'm just going to talk through what I experienced when opening it up for the first time. All right, so I'm just going to share my screen, and here's what I prepared earlier. Now, if we go to the website, we can see, so the idea is that it's a project management tool. You can see you've got kind of like boards and statuses, manage successful projects. Looks like it's got some scheduling. It looks like it's got a mobile app, and with a time tracking, expense management, and then some quotes and invoices with some payment integration. So I can see that it integrates with Xero. That's good. Dropbox. I'd like to see like a Microsoft. Obviously, there's a Google Drive if you're in the Google sphere. Now, sometimes when you see these logos, it might have been that someone with an email domain for their personal use has signed up for a trial. So I don't always like to trust those as the go-to, because I'd imagine, this is kind of like a point solution, like a small business thing. So whilst they've got that there, Deloitte's one of the big 4 accounting firms globally. So I would imagine this is quite small and immature for them. However, I'm going to go onto the features page. Now, it wants to take me to sub pages here. But you can see I've got project management, we've got resource scheduling, we've got some resourcing there, time and expense kind of gives us a light breakdown, and we will jump into the software. So let's see if we get some more detail. So timesheets, so we can see there's a start to stop timer, which is always good. One click, multiple ways to track time. It'd be interesting to see if this had a browser extension or whether you just need to be logged in the browser at all times. Looks like you've got some billing capability, staff utilization, etc. Okay, so rather than look at the website the whole time, let's dive in. So this is the homepage. I've got a test company. I've just done the basic free plan. And if I go to contacts, it loads me up on the internal contacts, which is me. If I go to external contact, this shows me companies that I've added some in. So if I add a company, I can, but I didn't think it was very clear with that external contacts. It doesn't make it very easy. You do have a good little plus button up here, so you can quite easily add something new. So add a project, task, timesheet, expense invoice, team member, contact, etc. So I'm going to go for test. We could give it a first name, A, B, and C, B, C, and a.com, just enough to register an email. So we can add some extra details. I would like to see if we can do custom fields. I think that would be great. Currency, looks like it supports a fair few here. Billing templates. So given that that's on the contact record, it looks like I can customize it per customer, not just 7 days trading terms across the board. Bills, estimate, tax file number, and you can have a template. Excellent. All right. So I am going to save that one. Your account has reached external. Okay, so I've done all the tests I can do. So we'll grab another one in a sec. All right, so if we go to chat, it looks like an interesting feature. Obviously, if I've got other users in here, I should be able to look for that user. It looks pretty basic. It doesn't really seem like there's a lot of features here. Obviously, I'm not really messaging anyone. Channels, I think what they're trying to do is kind of like Slack. And we can see we've got projects in here. So maybe on the task, I can type a message. Yep. We do have some basic formatting, rich text. It's not massively strong, but that's all right. And then I can go to the task, which is good, but that wasn't super clear either. I'd rather see like a hyperlink, which is that one. Actually, no, that's a hyperlink on the actual task. So this task is pretty good. I think you've got the task name, which I've given one with a bit of detail. We've got not sure what that drop down is trying to achieve. Who can see it? There we go, team only or everybody. External contacts, so it seems like there is a user or customer portal, which is good. Section, okay, so we can break it into groups and sections. who's assigned. Now, I would love to be able to assign multiple, which it looks like you can do because you've got this multi-select. And then we've got the status. It'd be good to see if I can customize that at a percentage. Yeah, I don't know about percentages. I mean, that's very subjective, or you may forget to go and update it. I like to see a little bit of both. There's a very fine line of less is more. So we need to try and find the right balance. There's the description, going to followers. Following is good if you've got a number of team members and you've delegated a task and you want to stay on top, but obviously you can get a lot of notification fatigue. So here we go, from computer, Dropbox, Google. So obviously I can't, I've put a OneDrive link in here, but these links in OneDrive expire. They require permissions, like you can see them. It would be nice to see a Microsoft, if something does Microsoft and Google, you pretty much cover 90% of everybody. But if you're a Dropbox or Google user, this seems fine. Upload from computer is okay, but you're going to run out of space. I presume there's some usage limits in here that then cost you more. You can post as internal, that's fine. Yep, test, post, and I can again upload stuff. So that's good. I like a bit of a conversation feed, particularly if you need to have a conversation in context, because it makes it really hard to be able to talk about 100 things that are very similar-ish, that might be doing 3 different things for one client with very similar descriptions. So, all right, so that's that. Okay, so projects. We've got all projects, all tasks, and recent. Get this little plus button where you can add. That's good. So here we are. I've got a project. I'm just going to add a new one. Test, customer. Obviously, you can look one up or add a new one. I'm at my limit. So I'm just going to add myself. Use previous project as template. Okay, so I can look up a past project. So it doesn't have to be the very previous one, the one that I just worked on. It could be all sorts. And then you can copy different things. So that's handy, particularly if you're doing a lot of repetitive stuff. All right, so I'm in the project now and I can see, again, I find this little menu here a little bit like if you're coming into this first time, like I do a lot of software stuff, but if you're coming into this the first time, it would be really hard to know what that's got to do. And on the dots here, project settings. So that might be important to know. Yeah, good. So we've got, what's the budget on it? Is it hours, project fees, person hours? No budget. Timesheet approval. Category, if you want to group your timesheets in any way. Expense categories. Project members. Okay, so you can add, who's on the project. Maybe you want to only specify that maybe accommodation and travel are on the project as expense items. So click the back button. Sometimes when you hit the back button, you don't always go back, as just happened here. But you've got this breadcrumb option here, so I'm just going to click on the project. So we're back on the project here. So section, I'm assuming is like milestone. Can I rename it? Yes, I can. So I'm going to say milestone 1. So maybe that's like the pre-planning, and then let's say in here, let's go discover, and then let's say design, and then let's say approval or revision. So let's say if you're making a website, then you probably need to have like a bit of a chat about branding. You probably need to have a chat about design and approval. It's good that you can reorganize. I think that's important, particularly if you want to be able to build something out quick enough. I've just been able to build that out pretty quick. As I can add a task here, and then I can schedule it and give it a start date, due date, etc. Can I assign a predecessor? It doesn't look that way. So predecessor, if you've not heard that term before, basically it means if you're building a house, you need to build the slab, then the walls, then the roof, then the insides. You can't go in any other fashion. That is the critical part. So you need to do one, then the other, then the other. You can't build the roof first with no slab or walls. It's just not going to work. So dependency means that you have, for example, you've got to do discovery, design, and approval before you start actually coding the website, because you don't know what you're building. So that's important. If I go to the dots here, rename, copy, delete. Okay, so it's pretty basic. Expand the track, but it's not really important. So this looks like a task mode. This is the Kanban mode. So if we have, say, for example, build phase. So maybe instead of milestones, or you could even have, say, milestone, maybe design, perhaps if we had plan in progress, and then like for review. So this is probably how I would use the Kanban. And then I could go plan, all right, well, the design is in progress. And you know, back on the website when you had a look and you saw on the homepage that this card view that looks like what I could do here is add in some image. And I noticed here, I didn't click through here before, but I've got subtasks. Now, I think a lot of people get confused on tasks and subtasks and milestones. So a subtask, in my mind, shouldn't be something you really need to dig into. The only reason it's there is just a reminder. So the person who's sitting down on that task, you know, maybe, all right, when I do this task, I need to remember to clean up, do the paperwork, and then close it out. That's not really critical to track, but it's just a prompt and a reminder to go, this is start one, these are the steps involved in doing it. So theoretically, someone could close a task without closing the subtasks altogether, because there doesn't seem to be any controls here. We've got the time entry, okay, so estimated, so that's a budget. So if I say this is going to take me 5 hours, and then the time entry, okay, so it looks like it tracks to that. So if I say, all right, well, the budget is 5 hours, I'm going to sit down, I'm going to do 1 hour now, and I'm going to say 1 hour, and it looks like the formatting on that's quite nice, and then hide completed tasks. All right, and then that's, you know, what am I tracking against? The project, the category, and the task. So maybe the category could be, well, this was, maybe add a category there, which is like, say for example, either the role-based kind of work that you're doing, or the planning or design work. It just depends on how you want to report. So if you want to have a report at the end to say, how much time did we spend planning? How much time did we spend doing graphic design? So maybe that's a role kind of thing. I mean, the category is really going to help you understand where the effort's going. And then I always like to put probably about a sentence. Some people put like 1 word, 2 words, 3 words in the notes. But remember that if you're going to have that go on an invoice, that you really want to know that whoever's doing those, whoever's reading that invoice, you want to be able to prove value. So you also need to be able to come back later and easily see exactly what's happened on the project, where you're up to, notes about what you've done, what problems you have. Okay, so recurring tasks, yep, that's on paid plan, and resource bookings, okay, sweet. So it looks like if I'm a resource, which I am here, and the category is going to be consulting, and there's my availability. Looks like I'm down for 7.5 hours a day. I presume there's a break in there. So hours per day, this is going to be, 1 hour per day over 5 days. Start date, end date. So if I can go to the end of the week, let's do that. And then, so that looks like I'm now scheduled. Excellent. Okay, so the other thing I noticed, you've got this little play button. Yes, okay, so there's a start-stop timer. We do also have the start-stop. Now, I presume that's just going to start the timer. And then when I want to stop it, I just hit the stop button. And now we've logged 5 seconds, which probably, there might be a setting to round it up, round it down, etc. The other option looks to be, just like a card entry kind of method. So similar thing, just without the timer. So one might be if you empirically want to go start the timer. Say for example, if you're got to drive to site and do some of the work, you start the timer, you go and do the work, you come back, you stop the timer. Depends what you're used to. I think some people can forget about timers. I know I do. So what I do is I tend to go in, have a look at the day, see how much I've logged for that day. And here's our one that was a few seconds. It didn't even register any time. So you might say, all right, well that was 0.25. See what this does. Put that out. 0.25. Okay, so that's giving you 15 minutes. Great. So it's 0.25 an hour. And then say, so the status was in draft. Obviously, I need to put in my test company. Let's say it's consulting, and that was discovery. Right, here's my notes, just match the wheel, there we go. Okay, so I've got an hour and 15 minutes and that's giving me the total there. And I can look forward and backwards on the different days that I've done work. All right, then I have the Gantt view. If there's a Gantt view, I would have thought that I would have seen, let me add task. That's if I've got start and end time. So I want to go into that one. Okay, so I double clicked it. I'm going to give it a start time of today and an end time of, oops, I put time in that, I need to put the date. And I'm going to give it next week. I'm going to go, what do I say? No, looks like it's saved already. Post, that will be for the chat. Okay, so that is my time, and there it is. And it looks like I can do dependency. Okay, cool. So if I do this one, and I double click, and I do that one for the 16th, and then it's going to go the week after. Click away, there we go. So discovery has to happen before approval revision. So there we go. We do have predecessors, but it looks like you have to be in the Gantt view. It would be nice to see that on the actual task. So I can click it here. It doesn't tell me anything about predecessor tags. Okay, so maybe tags could be a different dimension or the type of work or the type of client or something. Maybe a tag could be like on-site, off-site. I'm just trying to think about how you would use some of these. So the black one at the top seems to be the milestone. So for that entire phase, for the planning phase, that you would use that tells you how long the whole phase is. And then ideally, if you've got a project, it should all go together. And we can filter this obviously by year, by week, by day. Let's go back to month. We've got auto schedule, enable depending on child tasks. Okay, so it looks like you can, so you can drag the dates backwards and forwards, and then calendar view, which I don't find massively useful, but someone might. Then you've got week and day. It just depends on how granular. And I think, these are good, but sometimes, there's your hours budget, it's good. Sometimes people get wrapped up in the features, but then they forget how long it takes to actually enter all the information. And unless you've got other people, there's not really much point. Like if you're going to do this for yourself, just go and do the task. But if you need to manage 5 people, 10 people, spend the time putting them in here, because that's going to allow you to have better control and better communicate about how the projects go together. Okay, what else? Cross, add timesheet, add expense. We've not done that yet. Let's have a look. All right, so we can add some costs, customer, tax group, verify and save, upload the receipt, which is good. And this does integrate with Xero, but it'd be interesting to see how deeply. These are just like a filtered list view. Okay, so my tasks, what's assigned to me. Then I can go by due date. What's this one? I'll expand and contract. Team schedule. Yes, having a look at everybody else's schedule. That's like what was on the website. Kind of like, there might be a more advanced image here. Resource scheduling. Yeah, okay, so that can be quite handy, and then you can start to see what someone's schedule looks like. But again, it's hard to sort of know. It's kind of like you still got your finger in the air a little bit, trying to sense what's going on around you. And the other thing is you need to allow other people actually need to be able to update this and keep their bits up to date. So add lead, add assignment, add booking. Okay, so booking a task and a project to a person. Yeah. And then my schedule. So it's pretty much, okay, so Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, that tells me what I gotta do on each of those days, and then I can expand it out. So if I've got 5 bookings, I can see 1 hour for each booking, and then I might have some spare time. Timesheets, okay, and then there's approval. So again, this menu up here, I find it quite difficult. It would be nice if it was an indented list under here. So pending approval, and then approved. And I'm assuming there's some permission levels, because if I'm the only one in here, I'm sure as hell I've got the God mode with everything in it. Expense, and then obviously the timesheets, I've got a quick add. and that's just that card again. Expenses, a recurring expense, that could be good if you've got, here we go, some software license fees. So I added this one before. Yeah, quotes and estimate, accepted and rejected invoice. So let's create a quote or estimate for test company. Let's do it for ourselves. Elevate customer detail. Okay, so if I want to go and update, add new customer. Okay, so we've already selected our customer. Elevate, and then pending. Okay, great. Yeah, I see. All right, so here's our quote. It's for Relevate. I've got the estimate template. Okay, so I've got templates. Default discount. Maybe if you've got an agreement with the company, you've got your what you want to add. So we've got consulting. Let's say that's 5 hours. Yep, so goods and services tax. Great. Save that one. Now I can send it. I presume I've got something that I need to set up there. Edit, actions, mark as sent, convert to project, copy, delete. Okay, so I don't imagine that there would be a lot of detail in that one, but if you, okay, so you can send them, presume a link, and then they can approve or reject, and then download the PDF. And then actions, yeah, we did that one, edit, that just gets us back into the database. And then I presume, doing the invoice, recurring invoices. I think that one was a plan upgrade, credit notes, payments. Yep, so I think you either manually mark the payment, right? Reports, okay, project dashboard, project summary, staff utilization, scheduling, fixed details, task lists. There's quite a few reports in here, which is quite good. Can't build custom reports though. You've got popular, you've got saved, you've got favorited. Again, there's that small menu. And what's this? We haven't put this yet. The activity history, and you've got some ability to, okay, so you can have multiple accounts, which is good. With help, see how good the help is. All right, so they've got a searchable database, and that's another thing that I like to see is that there is lots of user articles, guides, videos, and things, because when you get stuck, ideally, you don't want to have to go to support, or you want to try and self-service as much as possible. And I know it can be annoying. It looks like there's a chat here. I know self-service can be annoying, but it's actually really effective 99% of the time, because there is an article, a guide, and you don't always need to escalate it. Okay, settings, your subscription, inventory items. So if you've got some basic materials, you can add that. Okay, general invoice and bill settings, online payments, so you can connect Stripe and PayPal, email template, email reminder, project management. You've got some settings there, default billing, project budget alerts, which is good. It's your categories, your priorities, your just things to group other things. Scheduling setting, default working days, user categorization, leave types, holidays. I normally like to see a leave thing that will connect with your country requirements. So, I find leave and things in these sorts of platforms actually not very good, because you generally need some form of, whether they took that leave or whether they've actually got a leave balance, and that's better off in your accounting system. Particularly if you're using Xero, just do it there. Expense settings, right. Taxes, pretty basic. Import data, okay. Now, the big question is, can you export, or is it a one-way ticket? When you sign up for a platform like this, I generally like to see that you've got the ability to export your platform data, because you need to be able to get it out. I like to see that there's Xero integration. It would be nice if I could see Salesforce and Starlink for some CRM booking, and then Google Calendar. And again, it would be really nice if this connected to a Microsoft account, just from the sheer number of users that have Microsoft. Okay, so that has been unboxing Avaza software, which is a professional service automation tool. We had a look at the projects, the tasks, the time tracking, the invoicing, and how all of those fit together. So I think by now you've got a pretty good idea on how the platform works, and some of the ideas and things that I think it's lacking and that it could use. And as a business automation specialist, we recommend platforms all the time. So if you're a small business, this looks like it would suit a one, maybe two or three operator kind of small business. But once you start getting bigger, you get new problems that you need to solve. Your ability to bulk edit data at scale, your ability to connect to other systems. And again, by not having the Microsoft integration, you miss out on such a huge market. And I think also the billing side is good, and the fact that it can capture payment, and the fact that it integrates with Xero. Again, we only explored the free tier today, but go and have a look. Sign up for a free trial. But if you wanted to shortcut your process in having a look at the platform, hopefully this video has helped. If you like this, please give us a like and a subscribe. If you want to check out some of our other videos, we've got tons more reviews, guides, podcasts, etc. And of course, please share this video if you think it's going to be useful to anybody else. Otherwise, thank you very much for watching. Take care, and I'll see you next time.